modern societies really understand that migration is a virtue. That's not something that one reads about in the press. But from the point of view of the United States, I can say we take pride in being a nation of immigrants. As our society in the US changes, and I think other societies around the world, including partners like Austria, it's important to maintain another principle, and that is the principle of equal opportunity. That the doors are open, that what you can achieve doesn't matter doesn't depend on where you were born, or who your parents were, or where you went to school. But if you've got the talent, the energy, the drive, and frankly the integrity, that you can then move forward, contributing not only to your company, but to the broader society as a whole.
I'm not discussing family immigration here. I'm not discussing illegal immigration here. I'm not discussing refugee immigration, refugee/asylum immigration here. This is, the system who we choose, and as you're about to see, we choose them through two portals, if you will. Some of them we choose as permanent immigrants up front. In other words, from day one, when you come to the United States, you're a permanent resident, and after 5 years, within a year or so, and if you want to, you can become a U.S. citizen. It is important that we bring immigration policy into the way that we think about the future of our countries. This is not about more immigration or less immigration. This is about selective immigration. We often have conversations about attracting the right kind of immigrants to our places. But I never see anybody having a conversation about how the people whom we want will choose us over competitors in the increasing competition for the best people. How will they choose? Why should they come to Austria rather than Germany, rather than Australia, rather than the United States? We don't use the point system. Instead, we create parameters, legal parameters, and we tell employers to go ahead and hire the person that they need. The logic here is also overwhelming. Only an employer knows what jobs they have available. As long as they they play by certain rules, they pay them the same amount that they would pay an equally qualified American or another legal immigrant from within the United States. The government stays in the back, and it simply polices the rules. It polices the way that employers act. For a while, we're alone out there. But the last 5 or 6 years, an awful lot of European countries and others have been following the US model. The United States still gets about 2/3 of all of the highly qualified immigrants in the world. 2/3 of all of the highly qualified immigrants go to the United States because that is the place where the opportunity is the greatest. That is the place where I know that if I work hard, I can make an awful lot of money for myself and a name for myself. I don't have to come to a Greek university to be holding, the platter for a major professor, do all of the work that he or she is going to put their name on, and then 22 years later, I make a name for myself. I can go to the United States, make a name for myself, and possibly become wealthy in 3 to 5 years. Many will fail, but many will succeed. I believe that an awful lot of the anxiety, the fear, the whatever about immigration in our midst in many countries have to do with the fact that people feel, the hosts, that the immigrants are not joining them, they're not integrated, they don't speak their language, they don't adapt or respect their culture, they do not become and engage become parts of the community. And the smart immigration system is the one that adapts. For me, if I were to reduce whatever little I know about the issue, adaptability, if I had to reduce it to a single word, adaptability will be that single word. Adapt the system that, on your selection. Adapt your integration methods on the basis of experience. Keep changing until you hit sort of like